Hey guys, RichGongaReplays, back to bring you some more Starcraft 2 1v1 action. It does look like on the bottom left on Xel'Naga Caverns we will have EpirD spawning as a blue Protoss, and upper right hand corner of Xel'Naga Caverns, duckcat spawning as the red Terran. Be an interesting animal to see. PvT on Xel'Naga Caverns. We have talked many times about the different usage of Protoss as well as Terran. EpirD mining some gold super early, sending out 2 scouting probes. I cannot imagine what will be coming to begin with, but duckcat is going to see 2 probes entering his base, and they will start laying down a little bit of damage on this SCV. duckcat bringing another SCV down. Probably not the best idea, as there is 2 probes down here. They are going to snipe this guy, and he does manage to get out of there. duckcat bringing all of his SCVs. I don't think I agree with that decision very much. Probably want to leave most of these guys mining, particularly because EpirD does still have mining going on back home, so want to be super careful about bringing all of your SCVs off to attack that, because EpirD does have an advantage now in income as well as supply. And he does manage to snipe one, except this probe sneaks out by the skin of his teeth. These SCVs will be stuck chasing him, and duckcat really needs to get these guys back mining, especially these 4. And these 3 need to follow suit very shortly. EpirD proving to be quite pesky in a super beginning. This probe's super low on health, and they are going to try and snipe this SCV as well. duckcat again bringing all his SCVs off. Can't say I agree with this. Really need to be careful with that. He does start rebuilding that. And EpirD just playing a little cat and mouse over here. What does he have going on back home? He does have his gas started as well as a gateway on the field now. And there goes the cyber core, so we will see some, I would imagine, some warp gate coming up very shortly. duckcat just desperately trying to get this wall off so these probes cannot be so pesky any longer. However, these probes are actually laying damage on the barracks and not the SCV itself, so that is a good place to be. And now they are going to start laying damage on this SCV. So this is not the best place that duckcat wants to be in. The supplies are now 12 to 18 early in the game, able to snipe another SCV. If we take a look at the units lost tab, that is 3 SCVs lost for duckcat. Not a position that he wants to be in, but these 2 probes are now going to start laying damage on this supply depot, but it will finish. So EpirD is going to run them all the way back home. However, he is supply capped at the time. I believe that was a pylon he canceled. Nice harass comes out by duckcat. EpirD really wants to get a pylon on the field very shortly. Yes from him. And we do have a pylon going all the way up there for a proxy. We do have warp gate on the way. EpirD sitting on 600 minerals, telling him he should park 2 SCVs while 1 is building. So duckcat realizes that he probably doesn't want to pull all his SCVs. Thanks for the tip. That's exactly what I like to see. Good sportsmanship out of both our players going on here. And we do have 2 more gateways coming out from EpirD. And another pylon, as to not supply cap himself a stalker on the way. I'm very interested to see this stalker is going to have to come out here. That's why he has very little choices for where he's going to come out. And EpirD is going to send out another probe. He actually has 1 probe on this Xel'Naga, so it looks like he will be expanding now. And we do have a second gas going down for Epir, and Stalker is on the field, probably going to relieve this probe of Xel'Naga duty. Maybe. We shall see. This SCV coming down. He will win that battle. However, this Stalker is dangerously close, so this SCV wants to be careful. He's actually going to go scout, not take over to Xel'Naga. And EpirD is going to try and snipe this SCV. Or he's just going to chill. Because why the hell not? And we do have 2 more stalkers, not going to allow him up into the base for the scouting privileges. Warp gate has finished, and we do see a couple of warp-ins down here. Technically just 1, but I'm sure a few more shall follow suit shortly. And this bunker is going to start shooting away at this stalker. He needs to be super careful. Does not lose it. That was very close, and we do have a Zealot coming in from up here to tank a little bit of damage. However, he wants to keep this damage stalker in the back as to not lose it. He is going to start walking around and going to snipe this SCV, and he does. Down goes the SCV. This expansion is put on hold. These Marines are getting sniped one by one. It does look like it is going to be a cancel forced on this expansion. He needs to be careful. I don't know if these Marines can take all these. Going to try and snipe one stalker. Almost gets the job done, but again, living with just 2 health. Do run back to the bunker. This Zealot deciding that that's not a good idea. He is going to try and snipe this SCV. Does not snipe him before it finishes. He is just going to focus down on the expansion. Duckcat is sitting on 700 minerals. He should throw down a few more barracks, I would say, possibly a factory, maybe throw some tech labs to get some marauders to deal with these stalkers who are now walking around the back. A couple more stalkers and another Zealot making their way up. A few more pylons going down for EpirD. I'm not exactly sure what he is going to tech into yet, but he is again supply capped, something that he needs to watch. We do have 2 more stalkers just poking around the outside. Duckcat definitely wants to build his command center up here, as we've talked about before. If you are Terran, always build your command center expansion inside your base, because you can just pick it up and float it around. And we do have an engineering bay, factory, and other racks coming out for Duckcat, who does now have a tech lab on this particular barracks. And he is throwing a tech lab on that one as well. So he is definitely going to want to start pumping marauders out. He is getting the combat shield for Marines. EpirD taking out the rocks to this gold expansion. If he is able to get a nexus up there shortly, he should have no problem defending that, as Duckcat is not in a very good offensive position right now, throwing down a forge down the bottom as well as a robotics to be able to see exactly what's going on. He does have quite a sizable force here, 1,000,000 sentries. Actually 4, but 4 is close enough to 1,000,000. And it does look like he is going to push up into these bunkers. Is Duckcat going to be able to stop this? Guardian shield is up, and this bunker does look like it's going to fall. Should micro those Zealots just a little bit better, try and get them up to the front. And these Marines vacating this bunker, just gladly giving up their positioning for the high ground. You need to watch that Marauder's rally point, because you do not want him walking onto this, because even as much damage as the Marauders do to the Stalkers, I don't see one Marauder being able to take this entire force. EpirD now backing out. Duckcat does have the 3 racks up. He does have a reactor on this one, and he's going to want to get, I would say, a tech lab soon. And if we do take a look at the worker count, Duckcat sitting on 17 SCVs. He needs to get that up like yesterday. Even 1 not doing anything. He really wants to get way more SCVs than this. EpirD sitting on 2 base right now with 45, and that is actually a tad low, not super low, but if you are a Protoss and you are about to expand a 4 base, you definitely want at least 60 probes at minimum. Particularly for Terran, you probably want to be sitting around 60 to 65, because you lose an SCV whenever you're building something. Because if you do take a look, the major difference is EpirD does appear to be mining out his main, and Duckcat still has some full mineral nodes going over here. You definitely need to get more SCVs on the field in this. We are at 20. He is working towards that number. He did lose a couple early, as well as that mining time. And we do have a planetary out for Duckcat, so I do like this decision, and a couple of bunkers up front. This will definitely help with the harassment he has been facing. And man, did this Zealot in this century have their work cut out for them, but happy to see their buddies coming up to help them. And we do have double forge down for EpirD. He is going to start researching these upgrades. Has he done anything with this robotics yet? Take a look at the units tab. He has made 2 observers. And I can't, there is 1. and the other one is up here looking at exactly what is going on. He has clear vision over all this, and he does in fact see that this is a planetary. So he is going to know exactly what he is up against at this time. He's probably going to need a couple immortals. Excuse me. We have 3 more gateways on the way for EpirD, and they are up here. 1, 2, and 3. Another pylon going down. EpirD does appear to be in a good position. He is now on 4 base, mining from this gold. I would, and this is just personal preference, I would probably transfer a couple of probes, because the gold is going to get you all that extra. The gold will get you all that extra mineral, so I would mine out that gold first. However, this observer is tailing this Banshee, but this Banshee is just so fast. He is going to pull away, no problem. Duckcat finally going to deal with this proxy pylon or not. Banshee says, I am a pacifist and I did not sign up to fight. So they are not going to destroy that, and we do have, I'm not sure if that was a transfer, or if EpirD has everything rallied, which he does have everything rallied to the gold. That also works, and this is 1,000,000 warp gates in for EpirD, and this Banshee is going to make his way down, but there's just so much here. EpirD is going to know what he is up against, and a few warp-ins. This Banshee does have cloak. So EpirD is going to need to throw an observer down here rather quickly, but he does have cannons. 1 cannon in the mineral line. This cannon probably is going to finish, and EpirD will be able to wipe it out in that moment. Unfortunately, he does not realize there is another cannon up here already laying down damage on this Banshee, who is about to hate his life. Pardon me, her life. And we have a couple more cannons up top to prevent those Banshees from sneaking around. This observer still giving EpirD all the knowledge he needs. I don't see any upgrades being researched for duckcat just yet. Not a good position. Finally, this Banshee says, screw it, I will take care of this proxy pylon. And we do have High Templar on the field. Do we have High Templar on the field? I do see Storm being researched. We don't have any yet, but I can imagine they will be here shortly. And the worker count at the present time is 29 SCVs to 56 probes. And just to give you guys an example of what kind of difference that makes, if we take a look, 30 SCVs to 56 probes, and just look at the income tab, EpirD is sitting right beneath 2,000, and duckcat, well, he's out about 1,200 because he just does not have enough. EpirD decides not to walk in that, not just yet. He does have his High Templar, however, they are just about to get Storm. And the Zealots do have charge, so they are able to lay down a little bit of damage, but 1 Zealot lost in that engagement. This High Templar, the High Templar do have their Storm available now. So duckcat needs to be careful, particularly with this group. Storms would eat that alive. We do have siege tanks on the field now, with siege tech research just now finishing. And we do have another engagement coming down here. These Zealots walking out, and we do have a siege tank going to siege up and start blasting away. But Storms on the SCVs between the tank and the planetary. EpirD going to lose a lot of units in that. However, this Warp Prism, with all kinds of units in it, 2 sentries and 2 zealots, decides not to drop. I have to agree with that, because these siege tanks would make very short work of that Warp Prism. These High Templar, if we take a look, we do have 2 kills for this particular guy and 3 for this one, so they were able to lay down a little bit of damage. However, these High Templar need to be careful, because they are not going to outrage those siege tanks. And throwing down more Storms on the SCVs, doing as much damage as they can. If we do take a look at the units lost, we have 19 workers killed for EpirD to 1 for duckcat. Duckcat has killed 1 probe to EpirD's 19 SCVs, even 28 to 14. This is starting more and more to heavily favor EpirD, and duckcat needs to get some supply depots on the field ASAP, as he is supply capped at 78 to 128 supply. EpirD taking a 5th base just commanding this map at the time. Does duckcat have any knowledge of this gold? He does know that that gold is there. So he is sending a drop over to try and deal with this gold, but he needs to be careful with this medevac's going to fly right over all these units, and he does lose it with all those Marines inside. And we do have a couple of sentries blocking off this ramp. A couple Marines able to squeeze in, but these Zealots making short work of those Marines. And these Zealots on the inside doing a ton of damage to these SCVs. Going to start hacking away at this refinery, just being a little bit pesky and warping in even more Zealots. This is just a ton of damage coming down from EpirD. He does have 1 health left on that Warp Prism. So now he is going to try and make something happen down here. Drop right on top of the tanks, but these Marauders going to make short work. And taking out 1 tank. That's exactly what he wanted to do with that splash damage. And this Zealot almost able to make it happen, but duckcat needs to get an SCV repairing this right away. He does, so he is going to be able to salvage this command center. EpirD doing all kinds of damage. We take a look at the workers killed now. It is 27 workers lost for duckcat, who has not taken a third yet. He really needs to take his third, as Epir is just sitting comfortably at the time with 600 million gateways, or warp gates I should say, in a robotics that he's not even using except for observers. And he does have stalkers that are now +2/+2 pushing up, and this tank gonna try everything he can. However, he is not going to be able to do the damage he needs to before he's taken out by these Zealots. duckcat throwing down a GG, and he has left the game before he loses this planetary, which is inevitably going down very shortly. Even +3 just about to finish for EpirD. So I hope you guys enjoyed this game. As Terran, guys, build your command centers up here. That's all I can say. I hope you guys enjoyed this game, and I'll talk to you guys later.